The Volquest 2-minute drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Craven Wings 2-minute drill on this Tuesday. Tennessee, 2 practices into spring practice, Brent, and you get to hear from Tim Banks and then 5 freshman defenders today. What stood out about what Coach Banks had to say?
Well, just that, continued work in progress. They obviously have made strides the last 2 years. I did think he wasn't defensive, but he quickly pointed out they were better at getting off the field than a lot of people maybe
we can give up yards, but we get off the field.
But they've got to continue to get off the field. They've got to get to the quarterback. The biggest thing, again, and it sounds like a broken record, is he's got an influx of guys, young in terms of high school players, older guys in terms of transfers, the 2 kids from BYU and Arizona State, that give them a nice, not a roster flip, but a roster increase in depth. And you see that when you watch them on the practice field. I mean, it's pretty evident Arian Carter can play. Now, he's not ready, but athletically, he's going to be fine. Peely's a guy that we've talked about that really kind of jumps out at you when
he runs
you look
well
at
enough.
him. Yeah, I mean, he's so big and got size about him. So I think there's for Tim Banks, there's a little more confidence, maybe confidence is not the right word, but more comfort in the fact that he's got bodies to work with that he hasn't had.
You listen to the freshmen, and specifically, let's talk first Arian Carter, Jeremiah Tlander. Tlander got here at 214, he's now 226, put on 12 pounds. Arian Carter's got bigger. And those guys are getting in to work off the field. We saw Carter get the pick today out there when we were out there in the practice. But they're spending time during their off time, bringing out the trash cans, walking through things, and just understanding, which has made the game slow down.
Well, and again, I think they've got a couple of leaders, and Beasley's a different type of leader. He's a little bit more of an emotional player. Peely's a guy who's 24 years old, who is showing guys the ropes, and they know opportunities there. They've got to go earn it. And that's not a knock on Caleb Perry, who I think got a chance to play, and Elijah Herring, who's got a chance to play. But those 2 young guys see opportunities in front of them, and they want to take full advantage of it. I've said for a while I think Tlander's underrated and not been talked about a whole lot. And we saw the athletic play Arian Carter made today with the interception. We just haven't seen a lot of those plays. It was a big-time play for a young guy, big-time play for anybody out there in the passing game with a pick across the middle. There's a reason we've been talking about that group since they signed. And you're going to see more and more of plays out of those guys over the course of the next 13 practices.
2 polished guys in the secondary, Jordan Matthews, John Slaughter. I don't know if they play right away, but clearly they're going to help this team, whether it be depth, practice, and maybe potentially on the field, whether it be through special teams or in regular defense.
Yeah, and again, I think both of those guys are 2 examples of the benefit of coming to bowl practice, even though I think that's a little bit overrated. It's really not when you think about just getting a feel for what to expect. Their heads are not swimming as bad right now as it would be had they not been here. They know the game's fast because they went through bowl practice, so they're preparing for that and handling that. And both those guys, as you mentioned, are pretty polished. And I think that when you talk to a lot of guys in this class, particularly the midterm guys that roll, a lot of polish because they've been on a plan to do this, and they're going out and trying to execute that plan. Matthews would seem like the guy who has the fastest path potentially to the field, depending on how that cornerback battle shakes out.
He is Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Don't forget, tomorrow is Wing Ding Wednesday. Grant and Rob, they're off to the Big Apple. Basketball coverage will be on the site all day tomorrow as Tennessee gets prepared for the big game coming up on Thursday up there in New York. This has been the Craven Wings 2-minute drill. We'll catch you over on the general's quarters.
When you're Craven Wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.